Welcome. Welcome everyone to the Golden Loft. Let's check it out. Make sure I have enough free space. So this is about the Fibonacci sequence and phi and golden ratio and all that good stuff. It's
Oh, hi, dear. You must be here for the stuff your grandfather left in the attic. I'm a bit busy right now, but you can just go up to the attic without me. It's up the stairs on your right.
okay. Let's see what we can interact with.
I want to show you something. This symbol is the Greek letter phi, which represents a fascinating number roughly equal to 1.618. Phi can be found in nature, architecture, and art, and it's the foundation of concepts such as the golden rectangle, golden spiral, and the golden ratio, which are said to have aesthetically pleasing properties.
Yes. Okay, we've got 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, worked out nice. Wow. Let's see, can we leave?
Grandpa's stuff is just up the stairs. He always keeps it locked.
Okay. It's locked. Grandpa. Okay. We need a key. I know where there's a key. Beautiful. Okay. Here we have the 1 plus 1. Count it with me. So we need a 3. Then we need a 5. And then we need an 8. And we're in the Grandpa's loft. See if Grandpa was Harry Potter. Ooh.
This attic is the collection of my life's work. I traveled the world finding examples of the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence, bringing them back here. And now, all of this is yours to explore and play with.
Thanks, Gramps. See what we've got. Let's learn some shit.
People said I fell down the rabbit hole, but they just don't understand. Perhaps you will, though.
Perhaps, Granda. Let's see what we can interact with.
Most flowers grow a number of petals that correspond with Fibonacci numbers, like these flowers with 3, 5, 21, or 34 petals.
Beautiful. And put those back. Oh, here he is. There's the man himself.
Fibonacci was an amazing Italian mathematician whose brilliant mind shaped the world as we know it today. He's most known for his book Liber Abaci, which popularized Arabic numerals and the Fibonacci sequence in the Western world.
Okay. First ever selfie. Can we do? Oh, here we go.
The Divine Proportion was written in 1498 by the mathematician Friar Luca Pacioli and was illustrated by Leonardo da Vinci. The book was incredibly influential and described how math, especially the golden ratio, could be used in artistic composition. It also led to the popularization of calling the golden ratio the divine ratio.
Okay.
I made this stained glass window myself, making sure that the dimensions make a golden rectangle.
You clever thing. What about these bunnies?
Back in 1202, Fibonacci theorized how rabbit populations grow. If it took a pair of rabbits 1 month to become adults, and every month the adult rabbits give birth to 1 pair of baby bunnies, then the total number of bunny pairs follows a pattern. This pattern of 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 is the Fibonacci sequence.
Cool.
But this sequence
Whoa.
shows up in more places than just imaginary bunny populations. So take this seed of an idea and use it to see how other things grow.
Got a seed. Okay, plant the seed. So nature can grow the seed.
The Fibonacci sequence also appears in how a tree grows.
Okay. Let's make the tree grow. Let's water it. Or not. Water it.
One model of tree and plant growth follows an extremely similar set of rules to Fibonacci's bunnies. It takes a certain amount of time to reach maturity, and then each branch creates child branches at a constant pace as well. So the number of branches also always follows the Fibonacci sequence. One plant that follows this model is the white tansy, but the Fibonacci sequence shows up in more than just branches and bunnies. These numbers can create what is called the golden spiral. To create a golden spiral by using Fibonacci numbers, start by drawing a square with a side length of 1. Then draw another square that's adjacent to the first. Now a third square that's adjacent to both with a side length of 2. Continue doing this until you're satisfied. So the side lengths are then 3, then 5, then 8, and so on. After you're done drawing squares, draw a curve that hits the opposite corner of each of these squares. As the squares and Fibonacci numbers get larger and larger, this spiral gets closer to a perfect golden spiral. The Fibonacci sequence and the golden spiral are integral to another golden math phenomenon, the golden ratio, which can be found when you split a line into 2.
Okay. Why is this on?
After cutting this red line into 2,
Okay.
there is a blue section and a green section. When the ratio between the blue length and the green length is equal to the ratio between the red line's length and the blue length, you have a golden ratio.
Beautiful. And I get the teddy bear. How do I get the...
As you can see, the golden ratio is roughly equal to 1.618, also known as phi. Phi has unique and fascinating properties in math, as well as properties that some consider exceptionally visually pleasing. Now that you've got a handle on things, this information can open up new things as well.
Okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Over there. We're way over here. I wanted to learn about other things. Okay, we'll have to do the handle. Cool. There's God. What's he up to? Did I drop it? What did I do with it? Shit. I've glitched it. Oh, it's back again.
Now that you've got a handle on things, this information can open up new things as well.
Okay.
I built this cabinet with phi and golden ratio in mind. It's a golden rectangle, which means that the ratio between the long side and shorter side creates a golden ratio, equal to phi. As the numbers of the Fibonacci sequence get larger, the ratio between adjacent numbers gets closer and closer to phi. 8 divided by 5 is 1.6. 13 divided by 8 is 1.625.
Yep.
21 divided by 13 is about 1.615. Painters and architects since before the ancient Greeks have been aware of phi, but it's also existed far before that in how plants and flowers grow.
Okay.
Pretend you're a
What
flower.
is this?
You want to maximize the number of seeds you can grow, but you don't have that much space to grow them.
Okay.
grow seeds in the center, and they get pushed out when new seeds grow. Every time you grow a new seed, you grow it some portion around a circle from the previous, which you can see on the display. Each seed has to be grown in a different direction from the last to ensure it doesn't stack up and waste space.
I break it. What's that noise? Oh, gone over it. Okay, that's cool. What a cool in little game. What was it? 1.618?
As you can see, the optimal way for a flower to grow seeds is by following phi. Pineapples often grow according to the Fibonacci sequence in the number of bands that are formed. The number of bands wrapping around to the right, to the left, and vertically are usually Fibonacci numbers. More interestingly, they're usually consecutive Fibonacci numbers like 8, 13, and 21.
Fantastic knowledge, everyone. There's something in this jazz.
The world is full of patterns and beautiful examples of math, even if not everything in the world follows the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio. I feel like now you can appreciate my most prized possession, a shell from a nautilus that grew perfectly according to the golden spiral. But there's plenty more that uses phi in the golden ratio, so take a look around the rest of the attic.
Will do. Will do.
Although snail shells and nautilus shells are very spirally, most do not follow the golden spiral. Most spirals just grow at a constant ratio, but not necessarily the golden ratio.
Okay, cool.
Come on down when you're ready. Dinner's
Okay.
gonna be on the table soon.
Okay. Mom? Mom? Is it Mom? Hold on a second, we'll have a look at some paintings.
The golden ratio appears throughout the paintings in the Sistine Chapel, made by Michelangelo. In particular, in the famous creation of Adam, God and Adam's fingers touch at the precise point of a vertical and horizontal golden ratio. Some believe that the golden ratio has divine properties, leading to its frequent use in religious art. The golden ratio appears throughout the paintings in the Sistine Chapel, made by Michelangelo. In particular, in the famous creation of Adam, God and Adam's fingers touch. The oldest definition of the golden ratio is accredited to the ancient Greeks. However, its usage in famed structures like the Parthenon is hotly debated. Although many galaxies are spiral-shaped, they follow a logarithmic spiral rather than the golden spiral. Even though people love to draw golden spirals on top of hurricanes and typhoons, their arms follow a logarithmic spiral instead. I had this couch custom made to follow the golden ratio. The birth of Venus was probably painted with the golden ratio in mind. The horizon and the top of the shell are at horizontal golden ratios, and here his hand marks a vertical golden ratio. Also, it is painted on a golden rectangle canvas.
Wow. Okay, coming down from a tea in a minute, Mom.
Phi can be represented as an angle. When you break a circle into two so that the ratio of the larger arc to the smaller arc is the golden ratio, you get an angle equal to roughly 137.5 degrees.
Okay. Beautifully done. I think we've done most of it. Oh, turn around. Wow. Well, my tea's ready anyway, Mom said. These little bunny rabbits, stop breeding.
A pentagram is very special if you look at it with phi. No matter which line segment you choose, there is another line segment that is in a golden ratio proportion. A fascinating property of golden rectangles is that if you divide a golden rectangle so that you have a square and a part left over, that part left over is also a golden rectangle. Additionally, you divided the golden rectangle at the golden ratio. The golden ratio appears in the CN Tower in Toronto, standing at 553.3 meters tall. The observation deck is at 342 meters, making a golden ratio.
Beautiful. Okay.
Georges Seurat
Nearly done.
is famous for creating pointillism, but he's also well known for the frequent appearance of the golden ratio in his art. The golden ratio often denotes the horizon, shows a point of interest, or divides the painting into sections. And sometimes the canvases are also golden rectangles. Unlike human ancestry trees, where each person has 2 parents, 4 grandparents, and 8 great-grandparents, bee ancestry trees follow the Fibonacci sequence instead. So each bee has 1 parent, 2 grandparents, 3 great-grandparents, then 5, then 8, and so on.
Things you didn't know.
It's easy to decorate a room with Fibonacci numbers. The number of these pendants follow the Fibonacci sequence.
Gonna run out. Oh, there's 5 there, like.
Phi is special for a lot of reasons, but part of what makes it so fascinating is that when you multiply phi by itself, it's equal to phi plus 1. Additionally, 1 divided by phi is equal to phi minus 1.
You write that down now in your copybooks, everybody.
Pine cones grow with a lot of spirals, which often correspond with the Fibonacci sequence. The number of spirals going counterclockwise, clockwise, and vertically are usually Fibonacci numbers. More interestingly, they're usually consecutive Fibonacci numbers like 8, 13, and 21.
Beautiful. Okay, we should go and get our dinner before my ma shouts at me again. Well, thank you very much for joining me. We should put them back. The ghost of Granda. Okay.
I designed the layout of this entire attic to be an approximation of the golden spiral.
You did, you know. Okay, let's go get something to eat.
I have one final thing to ask of you, though.
Okay.
Please continue my legacy. Find examples for yourself. The world is magical, and I don't want my work to be all for naught.
Math. Oh, there we go. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I wasn't able to turn the music off. Apologize for that, but yeah, we all learned something today, didn't we? We can go and tell everybody how smart we are now. Well, there's links below. This is free to try, so it's all these people and things. Would definitely be copyrighted. Ooh, another one. Thank you for making. And thank everybody for watching. Thank you, everybody. Oh, jeez. Okay. We're back. Oh, beautiful. So there you go. The Golden Loft. Bye.